Hello, my name is Ron Presson with Midwest Automotive Designs. First off, I'd like to congratulate you on your new Patriot Passage motorhome and welcome you to the Midwest Automotive Designs family. I hope your van unlocks many adventures for you and gives you lots of joy for years to come. Today's video, we will walk through all the systems on your Patriot Passage motorhome. This video also pertains to Heritage owners, Ford Patriot owners, Ford Passage, Luxe Cruiser, Day Cruiser, and even Patriot Cruiser, whereas many of the systems are shared. We're starting with the exterior of your van. Let me point out a few items and then go to operations of how your all-in-one utility bay works. A few things to point out. This is your front nose for your camera on your 4-camera system. It is an option on your van. You may not have it. If you do, that is where your front nose camera is. Your side cameras are pointed out right here. Again, that's all part of that 4-camera option. We're going to come to the center of your van, and this will be your all-in-one utility bay. Quite a few items we need to address here. Let's first talk about your macerator hose reel. It is a manual pull-out first, okay? Once you have successfully pulled it out, you'll want to open up your power gate valves. Let's start. I typically like to start my black tank first so my gray tank can help flush it out. I'm going to hold down the black valve button until the light is on. If the light is red, that means that your gate valve is open. Then I'm going to flip the switch and turn on the actual macerator pump. As you can hear it going, it is pulling from my black tank right now. And currently right now, it is empty. I am now going to turn off the macerator, and now I'm going to close my black valve. The light is off, meaning that the valve is now closed. Now I'm going to move on to my gray tank. That's your dirty hand water and your shower water. And that's going to help flush around that sewage that did come from the black tank. Again, same operation. Going to hold down the button until the light turns on. Now that the valve is open, I'm going to turn on my macerator pump. After I successfully have emptied that tank, I'm going to close the valve where the light is no longer on. So everything is closed. I have cleaned out my tanks. My hose is still out. And now I'm going to hit the auto retract button. Make sure you help guide the system back into its slot. We are going to be moving on to your fill of your fresh tank or your pressurized city system. Right now, the valve is set at city. This is your fill point. You would use city if you were bypassing your fresh tank and going directly into your pressurized lines. So, what would you use this for? If you are at a campground and you have running water, you would fill up, have it at city. You would not be filling your fresh tank, and the water would go into your system as demanded. If I turn the city to fresh, I am now filling the fresh tank. You can monitor your fresh tank's levels on the Firefly screen inside, which we'll get to shortly. The two inlets, one marked gray and one marked black, is your sandy flush system. You'll be hooking a hose up to your black or gray, and it's going to shoot water directly into your tanks. This is also a good function to use in conjunction with your macerator system, so you can help flow everything out all at once. It does not have to be done all the time, but it is encouraged. If you use the macerator to empty your black tank and your gray tank, your fresh tank still needs to be emptied. If you need to empty your fresh tank, unscrew this valve and the water from your fresh tank will drain. Your coax cable. Again, this would be used if you had cable television, satellite television via coax at a campground. For your televisions inside, your inlet is located right here on your macerator panel. Your exterior shower is also in this utility bay. Grab your hose reel and sprayer from inside your van and connect it to your exterior shower slot. Now, just as you would inside the van, you can open up water just as you would inside with just your nozzles and spray as desired. The shoreline plug-in is an important part of your RV. This provides power at a campground, at your home, anywhere you're stationary, where you don't want to run the motor, obviously, for charging your lithium system or your generator. So this is just another place to add additional power. For this year, we use smart plugs. Smart plug is this system right here. Open it up. You come with a plug already. We're going to just slide it right into that slot until it is connected. You'll notice that there's a light on when you have it plugged in successfully. We can buy an adapter for your 30 amp to plug into a residential outlet that is 15 amps. Below your shore power is an exhaust for your Timberline system. That is your diesel-powered furnace and hot water heater. That is what this exhaust is. If you have a generator unit, you will have another exhaust coming out of the side for your LP generator. Every Patriot Passage is equipped with a 2-inch hitch receiver. It is rated at 5,000 pounds, and it can be found by removing the rear cover. If you have a generator unit, you will not have this cover, so you can immediately get to the hitch. Now we're at the camping side of your van. We'll have 2 110 outlets, plug in television or any of your camping accessories. We're gonna have our awning with an LED light strip. We're gonna have our solid screen door. We're going to unbuckle from there and up down here, and we're gonna pull it this way. Before a big road trip, it's always important to check the PSI on your tires. Here at Midwest, we recommend your front tires to be at 55 PSI and your rear tires 58. Now that is a 3500 170 extended model, so that'll be your MD2, MD3, and MD4. If you're new to diesel motorhomes, you may need to know a few things. Your diesel's fuel tank can be filled from right here by the driver door, and this is also going to be your fuel tank for your Timberline diesel, hot water, and furnace. A few things to know underneath the hood. This is your depth field. This helps remove the sulfur from your exhaust and make sure you keep emissions. You will have to add more depth fluid for your journey once it comes available in the gauge cluster and says you need to fill more. Another item you might want to know is how to jumpstart your chassis if your chassis battery did run dead. Your positive inlet is right here with a twist and a push of a button. And your negative is right here. The chassis battery is located underneath the driver's seat. A few other things you need to know. Your oil changes. Mercedes-Benz recommends every 10,000 miles or every 1 year. I do want to point out a few things on your roof. The cyclone vents are negative pressure vents. They're going to keep the smell away from inside your vans. Those vents are connected to your gray and black tank. We also have a little fan right in the center between those two vents. That is the fan for inside your restroom. I do want to point out a few other things. Do you see the little gray box right in front of the AC there? That is your pre-wire for your Starlink satellite system. All the wires are in there and ready to go, and you can use a magnetic mount for your Starlink Roam satellite. Of course, the air conditioner, the Gree AC, which we'll get more to once we get inside the van. And you can also see your solar. We do recommend that you do check all your caulking once a year. And if you do need to add more, we do use normal self-leveling caulk. Okay, we're now in the front driver's cabin. We're gonna go through some of the operations that I think are some key points. Starting out, your depth gauge and how to get to it in your gauge cluster. What we're gonna do is we're gonna hit home on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. We're gonna go over to service. We're gonna go down one to depth, and then there's our depth gauge. Great to know. Another item is your adaptive cruise control, which every Midwest van has. Go to assistance, click on your cruise control like you would for any normal car, and you can set your distance to the vehicle in front of you. If you're going down the highway and there's no vehicle in front of you, it'll be set at the speed you set. If there's a car in front of you that's up to slower traffic for stop and go traffic, it will follow that vehicle. It's a great operation for when you go around these major cities to get to the campground you're looking for. Now, your key fob is wireless and is remote based, but the problem with that is you have no key. So your key, if it does go dead, you can still put it in this slot right here as indicated with this little yellow tag. This is the spot you can put it even if your battery goes dead in your key fob, and your van will start, so you're not stranded.
This is where your massage chair remote is located.
Your seat heat button will be located on the door for your driver passenger. If you have Air Ride equipped from VB Air Ride,
You will also have the controller.
right here, know that your VB Air Ride controller is automatic when in drive and can only be adjusted when you are stationary for leveling. Another very unique item from Midwest Home Designs is your Firefly touchscreen right here. From this operation, we can adjust the lighting, we can adjust the awning, and the water pump. We'll go more into detail once we get to the galley Firefly screen. Right here, we have our 4-camera touchscreen, which is an optional piece. You can adjust what your screen shows from this button right here, front nose,
And your 2 blind spots.
and another operation that we have is your courtesy lighting, like you find in any vehicle. By hitting this button right here, the slider door is open. All courtesy lights are now on. Going for your center gauge cluster. Right here is our button for our power sliding door. This area right here is for your front air conditioning and heating system from Mercedes. And then of course, right here, this is your MBUX system.
Where you can set up your navigation.
Your phone controls via Bluetooth, easily connect device, your radio, your media, your MB apps, your info.
Truly everything you need to navigate throughout the United States.
Before we move on from the front driver's cabin, let's first learn how to rotate our seats. Right here is a handle in front of the seat, but we're going to have to move this seat around in order to get past the B-pillar. So, check your power seating on the door, move it forward until we can successfully rotate that driver's chair. And this is the same operation for the passenger chair as well. Once we feel comfortable there, we're going to flip up our table. And now we have a nice little work stand right here. We are here at your main control system for the coach. This is the Firefly Universal Control System, and this is your main screen for all operations. First off, we're going to show what this button right here does, your master power button. Master power is your cutoff from the battery system power to the rest of your coach. And for right now, I'm going to turn it off. Okay. Now, your entire coach has no power in it. Okay. Now, in this current mode, a shoreline plug-in will still charge your battery system, and that includes your chassis battery if you are equipped with the trickle charger. In the new 2026 models, you are equipped with a trickle charger. Your solar power will also charge up your lithium battery pack in the rear. So, master power does not have to be on for those 2 operations. Okay, so we can see in here, let's turn on your master power. And then the home screen will display. And on the home screen, we're going to hit Light Master on. Now all lights are on inside the vehicle. On our home screen here,
We are going to see a few important items.
under the lighting section, we're going to have our awning light, our porch light. We're going to show our fresh tank, gray tank, and black tank level. At this level, it's going to show empty across the board. If you are going to a higher elevation, and you want to recalibrate your units, please make sure they aren't empty before the next operation I'm about to show. Hold down your tank buttons. Tank calibration warning. Again, the tank has to be empty to run this function. Right now, we're going to hit calibrate. Okay, the tanks are being recalibrated. Each one of your gray and your fresh tank that are underneath the van have tank heaters on them. They are controlled via this button right here. When it is highlighted and not in gray, the tank heater is on. You should use this when you start getting below 40 degrees. This is not a four-season coach, and any four-season coach is only as good as the heater itself is inside the van. So, we will talk about winterization next, but the heat tank heater will help you get through some temperatures right above freezing. Let's turn off your tank heater, and let's move on to the water pump button. If your fresh tank did have water in it, your water pump button would start blowing water through all your lines and making your sinks, shower, exterior shower a usable item, okay? You will not have a working faucet unless your water pump button is on. And this also includes for your heat on your tanks when it comes to hot water, which is separate from this tank heater button. We will get to the actual hot water in the next portion of the video. Let's turn off the water pump and move down to house and chassis battery voltage. Because your house battery is lithium, the voltage will maintain fairly high in green, almost to empty. So this is not a good indicator to know if your house battery is full or empty, okay? The best way to notice that and monitor that is on your Victron Energy Puck. This is a battery management system that monitors your battery. You'll notice in the right-hand corner, you will see a few bars, very similar to what you would find on your phone or tablet. If all the bars are full, that means that your lithium system is full. You can also adjust this and see a percentage. As we see here, we are at 99.9% full. If you wanted to see your draw rate, go to amps. Right now, we are burning 25.4 amps. As you can see, the negative number. When your motor is in operation and you are in drive and you are sitting above 2000 RPM, your secondary alternator will be active and it will charge up your rear lithium system. On your Victron monitor, you will start to see a positive charge if your battery wasn't already full. That is your main operations for your Victron Energy Puck, to monitor your battery for charge state and depletion. Let's go back to your main page here. As you can see here in the left-hand corner, we have our cooling system. Now, understand this. If I do go to temperature on the side and go to my HVAC system, you will notice that it has heat. This will just control your GREE AC. GREE AC is one of the best ACs we've worked with in my entire tenure of 11 years at Midwest Automotive Designs. So this would just be the heat pump, not your diesel furnace itself. But this is, again, the little temperature icon. This will control everything GREE AC related. Okay, moving on from temperature controls. Let's move on to lighting. So you saw the master light switch on the home screen. There is actually a designated lighting control panel. So on this panel, we are going to see every operation you possibly can have. So I can control front lights, rear lights, accent lights, galley, porch, awning. And one of my favorite items, which is night mode, which dims everything back here, which makes it really nice for the driver when driving down the road at night, which allows all of your passengers to better use the van. and then just hit day mode, and it comes right back. Another important item, we're going to go to the electrical side. Okay, so the operations of electrical here. Again, like I said, the house and chassis battery, your house battery is lithium, meaning that it is not a good sign to check your status of your battery charge from this alone. Lithium maintains its voltages almost to the very end. But this can help show where power is being distributed. On the electrical page, you will find a few items, such as your inverter showing pass-through, meaning that we are connected to shoreline plug-in right now. If it is showed enabled, it just means that we're running battery power through the inverter. And again, your battery power is a DC current. The inverter transitions that DC current to AC and then runs into everywhere your outlets, your televisions, your microwaves, anything that requires 110 power, including your AC, very important. So, charger, no charge right now. Reason why is because we have a full battery right now. No charge is needed. Your inverter charger settings, as well as your Go Power solar controller. If you are looking to see how much solar you have captured, click on that item and you will find what you were getting today, yesterday, 2 days ago, and 7 days. Let's go back to your inverter charger settings. Push inverter controls. And then look at shore breaker size. 30 amp is set by default because if you're plugged into a shore power, 30 amp is what is necessary for the system. Now, if you were using the adapter for a residential 110 outlet at 15 amps, you should make this adjustment to 15 amps and then hit save. But currently right now, we're connected at 30 amps and I will hit save. Back to the screen. Again, that is the most important aspect of this particular system. If you are looking for more information about your energy consumption or the energy being charged at, the Victron Puck is your main source of information for that, not this page here. If you are looking for a state of charge on your motor chassis battery, this status right here is actually very good because it is an AGM battery and not a lithium. So the voltage will be more true to if the battery is full or depleted. Down on the auxiliary page, it looks like a star icon. You will see a whole nother list of items.
You have the on and off button for the internet.
You have the awning operation button.
You will not be able to operate your awning when your motor is running.
Keep in mind, your awning is motion sensitive. So if there is a good wind gust, it will auto retract, but the sensor does sometimes need to be adjusted depending on the sensitivity. Your rear sofa can also be reclined and inclined from here.
Also with this panel, you can control the ottomans.
This van is also equipped with power window shades, where we have a master control right here, or I can adjust each one individually. All right, and now go into your settings app. Inside here, you'll find screen brightness. You'll find auto dimming, and you'll find cleaning mode, where you can clean your screens. You'll also find your adjustment from Celsius to Fahrenheit, your network diagnostics, and your mobile app.
One unique item about Midwest Automotive designs
that we've had since our RVs started hitting the roads in 2015 was the refrigerator button. Because we use NovaCool refrigerators that are compressor driven and 12-volt DC, we can connect our battery bank directly to our refrigerator. So that means I can kill this entire coach and I can keep my refrigerator on, being the only item on in this coach. This is great for energy efficiency. This is great for someone who has perishable goods inside the refrigerator that need to be kept cold, and all power needs to be focused on the refrigerator because they are now going to a resort for some time and want to come back out, no spoiled food. Again, if I click this, now the entire system and refrigerator is off. If you're looking for your controls for your MaxxAir fan up above, they're located here. You can turn it on. It's going to fully open. It is fully powered. And then the fan's going to kick on. You can adjust each little individual setting. You can turn off the fan and just leave the cap open. There's a few different ways you can customize your desired fan speed. And then if I hit power off, we're going to turn off the fan and then the lid will close. Right here, we have a convection microwave that burns at 1100 watts. This convection microwave is on the MD2, MD2S, and MD3 floor plans. A standard microwave is on the MD4 and FD2 that burns at 900 watts. The reason I'm bringing up wattage is because it is something we all need to think about on these motorhomes. If you have a generator, you have 2,500 watts at your max capacity. On this lithium coach, you have 3,000 watts as your max capacity. So if I have this burning at 1,100 watts, I have my AC running at nearly, let's say, 1,600 watts. I am near capacity when it comes to my lithium system, and I am over capacity on my generator. What happens if I run over my capacity? The breaker will be flipped on your generator, and then your inverter on a lithium system will go into default mode. It's easy to get out of that, cycle the power on the inverter, flip the switch, the breaker on the generator. But what I'm telling you is to avoid these situations. There are three main items inside your coach that consume an abundant amount of energy: your convection and microwave, your induction stovetop, and your GREE AC system. If you can limit running these three in conjunction, you can avoid this issue. Over here, you have your induction stovetop. This burns at 1,200 watts and has a 30-minute shutoff. Induction stovetop can be powered on by simply holding the power button. And it does require an induction pan to use. So, induction, if you're not familiar with it, the surface here will not get hot, but the pan itself will get hot. So, something very interesting, it's very safe to use inside a small compartment, and that is why we use induction stovetops. Now let's talk about your restroom, your yacht-style bath, your shower, your toilet, everything combined. Turn on the light. Unlock the doors. Turn the handle. You can open up both doors to get a very open feeling. And you can use a shower curtain across here, and you can keep it open. It is a tight spot, but believe it or not, it is one of the largest in the entire Class B community. This is a full porcelain toilet with one of the biggest bowls available from Dometic, so it is a comfortable seating position. It is a foot flush style, very common for RVs. Put your foot right here, and that opens up the valve. And then release to close. Here I am sitting down inside the shower, toilet, restroom area. I have my shower liner, if installed. Comes with it when you purchase your vehicle. Here is your sink with a cutout for my knee. For reference, I am 6'5". Right here is a wand for my shower. For me being 6'5", I can't stand fully in this shower, but I can use this wand sitting down and give myself a shower from a seated position. I can also pull it from here and put it in this location right here. And again, I still have my sink right here for operation. We have a clothes rod to go across here for any bathing suits or any wet clothing or anything that just needs to be dried in general. And that does not include the line that is available for your shower curtain, so you can have both up. We have added a halo vent to our restroom. The light is right here for button. To open the vent, I'm going to hold down this black lever and push up. And then from there, to activate the fan, I'm going to push another black button inside here. So now I am pulling out all the moisture that is coming from my shower. right here in this small little spot. And also have additional lighting as well, which is very helpful.
Again, hold the button down.
Hold down the lock. Now it is a tight seal, and I can hit my button. This little device in the back of your van controls your Timberline furnace and hot water system. This is a continuous hot water system. On its home screen, you're going to find your hot water button,
Your burner button, and your heat element button. Let's first visit how to operate our furnace. So we're going to first push our burner button and your heat element button.
Now, we're going to set to the desired temperature.
You can see on the display the temperature it's currently on. I set the temperature to the one I wanted. You can adjust the temperature by sliding the control in the center. To activate your continuous hot water system, start by pressing the hot water button. Next, turn on the burner button followed by the heat element button. Please note, the burner uses diesel fuel directly from your vehicle's main fuel tank, while the heat element draws power from your 110-volt electrical system. You can operate either one individually or use both together for faster heating when running your furnace or hot water heater. Your burner runs at 17,000 BTU and your heat element runs at 5,000 BTU. Be aware of your power consumption when using the heat element on its own. It will take some time to heat up,
But once it does, your van will work just as it does at home. Since we're close to our Firefly screen, we should also probably talk about these two sensors here. One is for your Gree AC and the other is for your Timberline. So we're gathering your temperature based upon this general area right here, not by the front cabin, where it's going to be a different temperature based upon if you're driving down the road, this temperature back here. It's just a good thing to know.
Now let's talk about your Alpine radio system.
On the home screen here, which you can hit from right here, we have our radio, where you control the volume button right here. And then moving around, we can use our Bluetooth audio. This is how we connect to our LG television, which we'll get to next. Going back to our home screen. The other feature that you should know about, how to turn off the screen. So on your home screen, I'm gonna start again. I'm gonna slide twice, get to the back screen. I'm gonna hit display off. Now the system is off. If I tap again, the display comes right back on. So the main points I'd like you to know here is where the home button is, where the radio is, and where your Bluetooth audio is. Now let's work on the operation of your smart LG HD TV. This is on a mount, a swivel mount. You pull this string right here, it unlocks it, so I can move the TV freely.
You then can grab your LG remote.
First thing I'd like to do is connect the audio from this television right here to my Alpine sound system. I am first going to go to the Alpine, go to Bluetooth audio. From there, change device. And you'll notice LG is already selected because it went through the PDI department here at Midwest, and that's where they tested it. Now, on the television, I'm going to go to Settings. I am going to go down to Sound Out TV Speaker, and I am going to adjust that to Bluetooth device. Going to go down to Device List. And I am going to go up to ILX407, which is the Alpine head unit. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to click on Connect. It is now connected, and my LG is showing up now on my Alpine screen. So now, anything that is being displayed on my LG television is on my surround sound Alpine. Another item I want to talk about are local channels. You do have an HD air antenna equipped. Please make sure it is on. There is a button hidden on the back of this coach, and I'm going to display that here. Currently right now, it was off. Hit the button there, and you see the green light, and now it is on. If it is off and you try searching for channels, you will not find anything. In settings, to program new local channels, I'm going to go down to all settings. I'm going to go down to general. I'm going to go down to channels. And I am going to go to channel tuning. From here, I'm going to click auto tuning.
Keep in mind, I am in a factory.
I will not pick up any channels. So I will click auto tuning, but I will shortly cancel out. If everything was working correctly, I would hit start and I'd be outside and I'll be able to pick up numerous channels. I'm going to skip, yes. And I am going to go back to the previous menu and exit out. If you are wanting to connect to wireless internet, I will show you how to do that. So network, and again, we'll be looking for Wi-Fi connection. Please keep in mind, this would not work, and it should not work right now until we have cellular service. But we can still find the Wi-Fi in motion system. But again, it has no cellular service, so none of the apps will work. But this is how you would connect them once you get that service activated. I will exit out of that. And that is the general operations of your television. Sitting in the back of your van, you have sliding windows. Will give a great breeze passing through here. To unlock, flip this little handle down. This will give way for us to slide this window. It may take a little bit of tugging on the first try. This position is completely open. I can also just move the screen. If it does feel stuck, do know it most likely isn't, but you do need to give it a little oomph and a little bit of effort the first few times. Move it back and forth. Maybe use a little WD-40 to grease it up a little bit. Do know it is normal operation for that to happen. You will want a tight seal on these windows. And here I am back in position and locked back in place. This is the same operation for the driver's side as well. The Lagun table is a very popular item that is standard on all of our Patriot models and Passage. The table is in this fabric wrap. Pull out the table. Then pull the leg, as shown. Take the leg and put it into your mount. Use the handle to lock. Grab your table. And lock again. Now, this table is in use to have dinner on. So, as the other Firefly screens inside the coach, you can do some basic operations back here, such as turn off lights, put down shades, adjust the temperature from your grille AC, and even incline and recline your rear sofa. There is also a USB-C and USB-A ports for your phones. This screen is very similar to the one by the driver, where it does not give you full operation like the one at the galley, as shown earlier, but it gives you quite a bit of connectivity for different locations inside the van. From the back side of your van, when you open up the rear doors, you can access your 12-volt fuse panel. They are labeled here on the back of the cover. And if a fuse is bad, it will light up in red, as shown here. So, right here, we have a fuse that is having a problem. The red light will go off once we put in a fuse that is in operation. So from here, you access your 110 breaker box. And here you're gonna find all your main 110 items. So we have the 12-volt system, and we have 110 system. As you can see here, all the breakers are doing well. You're gonna find your television, you're gonna find your cooktop, you're gonna find your AC, microwave, hot water heater, all big items. And that is where the breakers are located. Now it's time to winterize your coach. This is a very important process in owning a Patriot Passage motorhome. Your coach is good to -4 degrees, but your plumbing system can only handle till freezing. This is something that you can do on the road when traveling to a freezing location. So don't let this process stop you from your adventure. Now, let's go through the winterization process. So, one of the big things in winterization process is emptying out your black and gray tank to fresh tank. Now, we already saw the operation
of emptying all 3 tanks.
Now that the tanks are all empty, we're going to come inside here and go underneath the ottoman on the driver's side. Inside here, you will find your main water lines and water pump. This line right here is for your antifreeze. What you would want to do is have a funnel connected to this point right here. You'd like to grab a jug of antifreeze, pour it into the funnel. You'll want to open up 2 different valves underneath here. One that opens up this line right here. And 2, if it's not already open, your line to your tanks as well back here. Now, once you have your funnel very full and this line full, you are going to turn on your water pump, and it is going to suck the antifreeze right out of your funnel and blow it right into your lines. Once that is done, we are going to close these lines back up from this point here and this point here. Now, keep this in mind. If you are just received this coach and is already winterized and you're trying to summarize the coach, this valve back here, not the one for here, but this one back here, needs to be open for it to run successfully to your sink, shower, and hot water heater.
We hope this tutorial helps with your experience with your 2026 Patriot or Passage van.
I hope this video gave you all the details you needed to hit the road and have some fun. See you out there, guys.